Okay, we got Sasha, Theresa, Bilinda, and Krysta. Krysta, will you be joining us on cam, or will you be just be listening or talking? It's up to you either way. Whatever you're comfortable with.
It's not Krysta, it's Coach Preach, but I don't know.
Oh,
my daughter's name is still inside. This is not Krysta, man.
Oh man, we're gonna catch a pit.
This is not they, them, he, she. They, them, he, she. No. This is Coach Preach.
Oh man, this podcast is brought to you by
Emotional Damage.
Get it now on Amazon, just in case you have situations in your life that can cause you a little bit of stress. Emotional damage. So Preach, welcome. Preach, just so you know, I know all these ladies, and you're the new person in town. So everybody say hi to Preach.
Hi, Preach.
Yeah, I'm doing great. Let me see if I can. I'm trying to fix my video. I'm trying to get my video fixed. Alright, I don't know, I can't see
Beautiful.
my video.
No worries, man. We'll give you time for that. There'll be plenty of time for that. Just to give you context of this. So I know Sasha from the Tony Robbins world. We attended the same seminar. I know Theresa from Toastmasters International. I don't know if you're familiar with it. And then I know Bilinda from Tony Robbins as well. So
Okay.
we're a good bunch. You know, like as a coach, you're in good hands.
I'm a good at.
Yeah.
You know something? I usually reach out and see what type of vibe I'm experiencing, and so I got a good vibe.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So everybody, let's go ahead and get started with this. So this is a brainstorming session. And the reason I've been doing these brainstorming sessions is because, as Tony Robbins would say, great ideas don't just fall out of the sky. And as Kanye West would say, beautiful don't just fall out of the sky, you know. If you know, you know. So what we have here is a framework that I do when I get started. And the top we have a cloud, and then on the sides we have a farm and a garden. There you go, Mr. Krysta. We have a farm and a garden, and in the middle we have a house. In the house where we process all of the resources to do whatever we need to do with them. And then the second framework we can apply to this.
Josias, since he came on, I could hardly hear you. I don't know if you're too far away from the mic. I don't know if anybody else is having problems, but I could hear you very clearly before.
All right, everybody else?
I can hear Joe pretty good.
Yeah, so I think it might be your audio, Theresa. So yeah,
I have it on the highest, so I'll try to get closer and see.
Your video is not good right now, Josias.
The video will get better. And you know what? Get to know Preach real quick, cause I'm gonna go ahead and get my light, make it better. I'll be right back. Hey, Preach, meet the ladies.
Yeah, ladies, how y'all doing?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you very loud and clear.
Okay, so my mic is okay then. I can hear you too. I just couldn't hear
Yeah, I'm
Josias.
Coach Preach from the Orlando area. Where are you guys?
I am in the Orlando area too. I live right near SeaWorld. I don't know if you know where that is.
Yeah, SeaWorld is off I-4, going down towards Disney, you know.
Right, I'm right by the 528 and I-4, and I'm in Williamsburg. That's the big area, Williamsburg.
Williamsburg, okay. And what's the next name? Belinda.
From Long Island, New York.
That's where you are?
Yeah.
New York.
New York.
New York.
And then there's Victoria from Texas. Arizona, Texas.
Arizona, okay.
Or
all right.
Everyone.
Texas, Arizona.
Yeah, I got two people from the Orlando area and two people, I guess one person Arizona, one person New York, okay?
Yep, and Sasha is in South Florida. And Sasha got so excited about this that she brought
Pennsylvania.
her whole salon. Oh, sorry, yeah, I thought you were in South Florida. She's in Pennsylvania. She brought her whole salon on the Zoom because and then she's had like her clients like speak on Zooms and stuff like that, which is really cool. So she's got that Jamaican swagger. So so real quick. So cloud, ecosystem, garden, house. Farm represents thoughts. Garden represents emotions. House represents the processing. The second framework is this. We got dots. You ever heard of connecting the dots? So we got dots. We're putting dots in. Those are the ideas, or they could be seeds. And then we connect the dots with lines. Lines become shapes. We color the shapes. They become pictures. We make a move, and they become motion picture. And that's the idea for a great brainstorming session, where we can go from just connecting dots to making a moving picture, a motion picture that we can use. And not only use, but this is recorded, so the value from the Zoom will be able to be used by people who we don't even know who will listen to this Zoom later. So welcome everybody. And the topic for today is depth mastery. On Monday, we were discussing a framework of how to go from surface level to the deepest place we can go, and then go back to surface level. And what do I mean by surface and depth? In the surface level, we got something like small talk. In the middle, we have stuff like emotional connection, thoughts, like deep thoughts and stuff like that. And at the very, very, very deep, at the depth, we have what they call the seat of the soul, or the seat of consciousness, which is the observer. You and I, let's say I have a great game. Perfect. Okay, we can talk about that. All right. So, Bilinda, I'll give it up to you to present your great game.
You got it. There's actually a game. It's a little box game, and I forget what it's called, but there's surface level questions, and it's a game to get to know you. Surface level, and then go a little deeper, and then the deepest that you can go. And it's really awesome. And people that are in this type of environment like playing it. However, I was with a group of people, and we were doing the deepest, and there's men and women around the table. Everybody's crying, and it was a game day, and we were like, we're having such a great time. You don't hear that usually. People are crying around the table. But I'll go get it when you're talking, and I'll tell you what the name of the game is. It's fantastic.
Okay.
We can even pull questions.
Okay, beautiful. So the subtopic is titled "The Priorities at Every Level," and then I don't know if Theresa will get this, but they hit different. She got okay. The priorities at each level hit different. When you're at a superficial level, you probably are thinking about your image. How do I look? At a mid-level, you're probably thinking about, man, like, I'm jealous of this, or like, I love this, or this is great. Like, you're in your feelings, or you're in your thoughts. And at the deepest level, you're like illumination, like Osha, or where you're observing everything, but it's not bothering you. It's just the way it is. Everything is complete. Everything is awesome. Like, you're enlightened spiritually. If you die, like, in the next 5 minutes, it will be okay, because you are fine with whatever happens. And then that's kind of like the levels. So that's the beginning of the brainstorming session. What does that bring to you, Theresa? Do you have any thoughts?
Well, it depends on what mood I'm in and what day you find me, because, I'm a great grandma too. So if you find me with the little kids, then I'm kiddish. And then if you find me at church, then I get very serious and trying to help people and feed the poor. And then if I'm in a Toastmaster environment, I have to be polished up. So there's very different levels, and it depends on what level you catch me the day that we're talking. Now, right now, we're talking about emotions, and because I've been through a divorce many years ago when I was in my 30s, I am very hard. I hardly ever cry. So when Bilinda mentioned crying, I hardly ever cry. I want to be happy all the time. And I have to have that spirit to lift myself up. Otherwise, I get depressed, and I can't get depressed. So Bilinda, I hope I don't cry today, because I don't cry too much. But I'll try to put out some emotion at least, so I don't look like I'm not part of the group today.
Yes. And
And
then
I'll give it back to Josh.
yes, that part of the program is brought to you by emotional damage, because sometimes life gets in the way and it damages our feelings. All right, Victoria, what does that bring you? What are your thoughts?
And unmute, sorry.
I'm not sure.
Okay, well let's go to Sasha. Sasha Fearless.
Hello, how are you? For me, what it brought up for me when you're saying that is, I'm a person that likes to help people become better versions of themselves, and that can be a good and a bad thing, because me trying to help somebody become a better version of themselves means that I view them as flawed. So let's say I see a woman, right? And she has very masculine energy, very masculine traits. I would tell her, listen, we got to tap more into your feminine energy. We got to do this. We got to do that. So from my perspective, my point of view, I'm basically not accepting her for who she is, because I'm trying to create a version of her that I see for her. I'm trying to create a version for her that I'm seeing in my head. So basically, in my head, that person is flawed. And I notice that I do that a lot with different people, instead of accepting people for who they are. And it can be annoying because if somebody does something that I don't like, it's like it bothers me, and it shouldn't. I should accept things or people for the way they are. It's good to help them, but like to have their actions or them bother me is not good, because it drains my energy. And I notice that I do that a lot on a daily basis, especially when it comes to family members.
So when it comes to, okay, so that's great. That's a great one right there. So if we are, let's say, like you're in that mind space, what do you think that, are you like in a superficial level? Are you in a medium space, or are you in the deepest level that you can be?
I would say in between superficial and deep. Definitely not surface. I wouldn't say I'm a surface level person, because small talk's great, but I don't do small talk. I'm the person that you meet, and it's like, let's go deep, like right now. So yeah, that's who I am. Like,
But here's the thing, because sometimes I'm like that too. Like I completely get you, but I've been seeing a lot of studies of how important small talk is. Like to go superficial, how important jokes are, how important, because people are not willing. Most people are not gonna be willing to go deep with you, or even like emotional with you, or even tell you what they're thinking, if you can't like beat their level of small talk, get past the small talk level, So I think that's so important. Bilinda, you look like you got something on your mind.
Well, I was listening to Sasha, and I used to want to help everybody, like my family, my friends. It was really painful. Now it's if someone comes to me and they ask me for help, so it takes away that part where it's like I'm judging them because they're coming to me and they're saying I want help. And a lot of people are like, I don't feel like I'm good enough, I don't feel like I'm worthy, or they say I want to be a better version of myself. And I do a little switch where I say, well, what if you're becoming an even better version of yourself instead of changing who you are? You're already amazing, you're already worthy, you're already whole, and you're just becoming even better, because that's what we all strive to be, at least people that are in this type of community.
Preach. What do you think, man? It's your first time. What do you think about this session? And what do you have to say as a coach?
I'm still trying to gather everything, understand what's going on.
Okay.
Still trying to gather, but I would venture to talk a little bit about our emotion, because that's where we make all the mistakes in life. We make mistakes because we go from feeling to decision a lot of times without rational thought, and that's what's happening in the world today. Throughout America, people are just whatever they hear on the news. You watch people; most people are into, they're looking at their phone, and the energy that is coming to them is telling them it's all about your feelings. Whatever you feel is the truth. So that's why you get people saying things like your truth, my truth. And I think it was Sasha was saying, accept the people for who they are, blah blah. And we need to always never look down on another person, except, like they say, when you look down on another person when you're picking them up, but you should never think yourself superior to another person. However, there is truth. There is truth. And truth is always in the Word of God. You can read the Bible. It's going to tell you the truth. It's going to tell you how you're supposed to look, what you're supposed to be, how you're supposed to act. And of course, the golden rule, Sasha, the golden rule is always treat people the way you want to be treated. Whatever energy you want to come back into your life, that's the way you treat people. You always treat people with love and kindness. And then there's a scripture in the Bible that says your gentleness has made you great. So when we're dealing with people, like I'm talking to Joe right now, whether I believe Joe or not, I'm going to treat Joe with kindness, gentleness. I'm going to be a good listener. That's the way you treat people. Never treat anybody with any type of condescending. You believe you're better. You never treat people with that. And we need to get, like I said, in the world today, in America today, you're being told to kind of believe your emotions, go with your emotions. And if you do that, you're going to make a lot of mistakes in your life. Let me give you an example. My wife passed away some years ago, going on 12 years. And, we were married for like 27 years. So, and we came to the United States because, God sent us here on a mission. We were marriage missionaries to help people in their marriages. We've been married for a long time. And so that's what we do, help people in marriage. It's like what I was born to do, help people with marriage. And so in doing that, you find out that a lot of people get into relationships based on what they see and what they hear, their senses, their feelings. And so when my wife passed away, and I met her in Bible school, so it's very easy. I met her. God said that was my wife. We got married. We were married for 27 years. We had marriage ministry. But when my wife passed away, I had to meet women, or so to speak, go out on a date or whatever. And some of those experiences were the worst experiences in my life. And of course, the reason for that is I was allowing my emotion to control my choices. What I see, what I hear, what I feel was the basis of me getting involved with somebody. And I had to learn to be very, very patient when I'm dealing with people. Very, very patient. And not go with my feelings, but I wait for the tree to produce its fruit, and then I know who the person is, what their choices are going to be. I learned that from being patient. So if I'm patient and I might feel an emotion, but Joe, that's not what I'm going to run on. I'm not going to run on the emotion. I'm going to let things go through my mind a while. Think very deeply before I make any decision, because you cannot go from emotion to decision. That's how people get in trouble. They commit murder. They commit crime because somebody's in their ear on the internet. No keys, let's go on that march, and everybody go run over with their emotions, and you don't even think about what you're doing. You're just controlled by your emotions. But the reason God gave us a mind is so we can think and say, something. If I do this, this is the result. And you can go to history, historical events, historical past, and you'll find out that the world is kind of like a simulation. It goes through the same things over and over. Experiences, life is the same way. You meet people, they have this type of character, this is the choices that they make, that is life. So if you are not, in short, I learned that patience is muscle, and if I be patient, I will make the right decision.
Sasha.
I 100% and completely agree with everything you're saying. I just have to add that it is easier said than done, because you are in the moment. Like, let's say somebody is very agitating, in the moment, logically, you're not thinking logically. You're it's like an instinctual. You just react, and that reaction is off of emotion. So is there something in my own head that I can do to say, okay, don't react? Is there something that I can do to not react and just, because I did it this morning with a family member, ticked me off, and I reacted, and then, it's like rationally, it's bad, don't do it, but you do it because you got pissed off. So is there something that you can do to...
Sasha, always remember this, it begins with a mom and dad. You very small, you're young, and your mom said, put those shoes in the closet. And you said, yeah, I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it in my time. So you train your mind to obey feeling rather than doing what is the right thing to do. And it takes time to get your mind to do it. But if you learn to, you have to develop patience. It took me time because I was, I meet a lady, she's nice, she has a nice accent, and blah blah blah. I'm feeling all this emotion, and I'm not married now, and I'm so grateful that I'm not, because had I been married, I would have been in a terrible, most likely in a very terrible relationship. And that's what most people do. They make the mistake of a lifetime is to get married to somebody you should never be with. That's the mistake of a lifetime. But Sasha, it has to be, patience has to be developed. It doesn't come overnight. It has to be developed. And a lot of times patience comes through going through bad experiences. You want that choice, you make that, and you pull back, and you learn to just keep still, be quiet. Especially like you said, you want to say something, and that is our biggest problem, is being able to tame our tongue. That's one of the hardest ones to tame, is your tongue. But the key is one step at a time, learning to just be quiet. It takes time to get there. Sasha, you're not gonna get there overnight. But I promise you, if you start with just a little thing, dealing with your kids right at home. You got kids, Sasha?
No children, no. But I do help the kids in the neighborhood. I don't have any children biologically, though.
Okay, all right. Now, if you help kids, like I have a basketball camp, and that's how Joe got. I do a basketball camp every year. So I have to deal with kids, all right? So if you look at their behavior, you want to, and it doesn't work that way. This person has been developed by their parents in a different atmosphere, and so forth like that. The key to getting people to listen to you is you have to develop trust. There is no relationship without trust. There's no relationship without trust. So you have to build up trust with people, and you build up trust by showing the person that you are unselfish, that you do care about them before you could begin to impact them. So if you're rushing to tell people something and not building a relationship without this, is foolhardy what you're doing, because the person, they don't know you like that, and you're rushing to try to give them some advice, and you don't even have you develop a relationship with this person. You know what I mean? It's the same thing with us. You know what I mean? I'm not perfect, so somebody can tell me about some things that I'm doing, and I gotta listen to them. You know what I mean? And a lot of times, when the person is not somebody you have engaged with, or you don't trust, it's harder to receive from that person. However, our ability to receive from other people depends on the level of pride that we have in our lives. Do you get that one? Your ability to receive is based on the level of pride. That means if you think that you know it all, nobody can tell you anything. And I'm going to just throw this one in here. Do you know why a lot of the woke stuff in America starts on American college campuses? Do you know why? Some of the most idiotic things that you would think about start on the campuses of the place where people are supposed to have a lot of knowledge. That's where it starts. On American college university. Starts right there. Do you know why? Where does Sasha go? Sasha.
Let's wait, hold on. So
are you still there?
Yeah, I don't know if
Anyway, let me but Bilinda is shaking her head. So
Yeah. Let's go to Bilinda real quick. Belinda.
Yeah, okay. The reason why a lot of this woke stuff starts on American college campuses, the gender ideology, hatred of America, all these things start on American college campuses, because when you think you know it all, then you know nothing at all. So that's why I say, why would crazy stuff like that start at a university where people are supposed to be so smart? You got professors and so forth, and they are starting the most crazy things in this country. And it's because when you think you know it all, then God takes away your ability to understand, and you say the most stupidest things that a person could say. For example, a friend of mine, he used to work for a university right here in Florida, and
Coach.
So he said he was the maintenance
Coach.
of several universities.
Coach.
The thing used to get him was when he would meet
Hey, Coach.
the person who was in charge
Hey,
of
Coach,
the university.
Coach, hold on. We gotta give Bilinda a chance to speak, and then let's.
Okay, go
let's.
ahead.
Yeah, but I love what you're saying though. I love the energy. Yeah, let's just Bilinda, let's go.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just wanting to touch on what Sasha was saying, and I think Sasha is she wants some like maybe real time way that she can practice what is I'm sorry, what's his name again? Preach, right? Preach. He's gonna change his name.
He preaching hard right now. He preaching hard.
Coach preach, Bilinda. I coached him. That means you need that encouragement. You need that connection. And then you can give them the word. After you've encouraged them, you can now preach to them.
Right. So what happens, I was in therapy for like 20 years. And the therapist used to kind of say things like, you want to do this, and you got to count to 10, you got to practice this. And without the actual tool, it becomes frustrating. So it wasn't until I went to my first Tony event. I had read tons of books and gone to different workshops, and I knew a lot, but I wasn't actually participating in my life. I was just learning, and that was the time to learn, so it was fine. But when I went to the Tony events and I started to learn about NAP and NLP and all of this energy work and everything, I found out that we can practice. So we practice in private. Most people are practicing in private how to be angry or how to be sad or how to be frustrated because we repeat something over and over and over in our minds. Like we were at the grocery store, somebody cut in front of us, or they didn't have their pricing right and someone had to go run and get it. Somebody cut us off in traffic, or we got into an argument with our best friend or with someone that we're in a relationship with. And so we keep going over and over whatever that is, and we practice being pissed off, we practice being sad, and we can practice being whatever we would rather be in that moment. So I don't know what it was, Sasha, that you were experiencing, but whatever it is, like you get into a place with somebody and all of a sudden that, like that person pushes your supposed buttons. So they push the buttons of frustration, or you're pissed off, or you're angry, or you're sad, whatever it is. Well, what's the hero emotion of that? And when you think about what the hero emotion is of that, what's the emotion that you were at when you were in this last situation? Can you name the emotion?
Fucking pissed.
Fucking pissed. And so what would the hero emotion be for fucking pissed? What would you have rather been in that moment that you could handle it in like a way that you'd be proud of yourself? Gracious. Okay. So how you practice this, and you don't have to do it now, but this is something you can do in like 3 minutes. You can go back in all the history of your life and think, when did I handle myself graciously? And you can look back and think, oh yeah, I remember that one time, instead of reacting like this, I was so proud of myself. I was acting graciously. And sit there and do what most people are doing about when they think about being pissed off and the arguments and the sadness. Do the same thing with the moments that you were gracious. So sit there and close your eyes and reflect on it and remember, wow, how was I breathing and how was I standing and how did I speak to myself and what was I thinking about the world and where did I put my eyes? All of those different parts of the energy triangle that Tony talks about, if you're familiar. And when you practice that, find 3 moments in your life that you were gracious, and then sit down and think about that moment that you were fucking pissed off. Close your eyes. I'm fucking pissed off. The moment you feel it in your body, stand up and go back to those 3 moments that you were gracious. It takes 3 minutes. And so that's how you can practice. Because if you wait for the person to be like beep, 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 and then you're just fucking pissed off and you don't have time to do that. And then you're like, oh, I was supposed to count, or I was supposed to do whatever that is. And I know I used to be already like a bazillion. When someone was like, you got to count to 10, I'd be like, I'm at 100 before I even think about counting. So this is something you can do in the morning every day for 30 days. And then you'll start seeing, you'll show up because you practice it. And when you are like, you get yourself in that pissed off state and you immediately stand up and you start acting gracious for 3 minutes, you're practicing it in your body. All of a sudden one day, someone's going to be like, beep, beep, and you're going to be like, gracious. My new programming for gracious. And you'll go there.
Yeah, that's free. That's for free, Sasha. You got that? That's
I received that 100%, and I'm going to start doing that, because it really does help reprogramming, because all these things are old patterns that just keeps popping up. And, you know, because I know that it's fake. My reaction is fake. It's an old pattern. So thank you so much for a solution. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So let's summarize. The foundation is going from deep to shallow, from shallow to deep. We got a middle ground. What are some things that we said? So this is the foundation, and this is the breakdown of the brainstorming session. We start at the bottom, we start at a surface, and then we build from there. So then what do we have? Coach, he said patience. Like, it's like a muscle, basically. Like, you got to build it. Like, you can't expect to have patience like Jesus if you can't like lift like your parents or your boyfriend or your girlfriend like saying something that's annoying. You know what I mean? So first you gotta start at annoyance, and then like, okay, can I handle this? Okay, let me work to handle this, and then moving up from there. What else did we talk about? Sasha talked about raising the standards. You know, when you're with somebody that you're trying to coach, or somebody that something is annoying you from them, then come from a place of love. But however, like, if you do care and you want them to succeed and they want to succeed, you're both in alignment with that, then it's okay to be tough with them, because now they've accepted that coaching. Bilinda talked about practicing, like we practice how to be upset in private, and then she showed you a framework of how to practice how to be gracious. So now, instead of practicing how to be upset, or how to be sad, each one of us has a negative practice or a pattern that we're practicing on the daily. It's a daily ritual that we're practicing, a negative daily ritual that we're practicing. But if we become aware of that, now we can decide and start practicing a positive one. For example, in the morning, instead of like feeling bad for myself, I decided I go to the beach every single morning and I jump in the water. I do like some meditation, some breathing exercises, and I jump in the cold water. And what does that do? It makes me feel good. Just simple. I'm practicing feeling better. And what is the last thing that we heard from Bilinda is basically when she said, when you're feeling that way, stand up. What is that? That is pattern interrupt. That is, you're breaking the negative pattern, and then now you are beginning a new habit, a new pattern, and that's how you do it. Let's go to Theresa. Theresa, I haven't heard from you in a while. You're muted.
Theresa, Victoria.
Yes, I wanted to share something with Sasha because she was talking about the confidence of her creativeness, really, being a hairdresser. And I saw a movie with Robert De Niro, and I don't know if anybody had seen it, but he is a hairdresser. And he's meeting his son-in-law's new in-law, and they asked him to do her hair. And of course, she had this beautiful long hair and elongated, and he decides to cut it all off on her. And all of a sudden, she's looking at it, and she's like, oh, I need to go on TV. I'm supposed to be a big star. And she was so upset, really upset. And then the wind-up is she goes with a short hair, is so polished that they did a tremendous write-off on her, that she did such a great success. So it was in the creativeness of Robert De Niro in trying to create a new hairdo for her that he felt that this should look like her. And it was just his inner confidence. And then she became confident after that because she saw it really worked. So sometimes if you're creative, things like that will happen to you. But see, Robert De Niro was confident and he won someone over on it. So you shouldn't hold yourself back from, your creativeness in trying to help people too. And I think you have to get over the emotion that you got to be a little tough when somebody kind of rejects something in you because you're better than that.
Excellent.
So I just want to share that.
No, that's perfect. And also, now let's go to somebody. You just touched on confidence. So confidence. Let's go to somebody that's a little shy. Victoria, what do you think?
Where's Victoria?
I'm over here.
She's gone. Oh, she was gone.
She back.
No, I'm here. I'm muted because I have my chickens are yelling here. But yeah, I'm very shy. And like I want to post content for my spiritual life coaching business, and I get really nervous, and then I end up not posting about it at all. So I really like what you guys are saying because it's feeling really motivational.
Yes. Sasha.
Hi, Theresa, is it? Or Victoria?
It's Terry, either way, because see, my nickname is Terry, but my real name is Theresa, and legally in Toastmasters we have to use our legal name, and that I'm a DTM already, so I just want to present myself as that. But you can use Terry anytime. It's shorter, it's easier to remember, and I love it. Thank you.
Thank you. So, yeah, I'm going to share my story with you. So basically, I suffered from social anxiety for, I would say, 85% of my life. I'm currently 35 years old, but my anxiety was so bad. I was like a hermit. I couldn't leave the house for like a few years. It was terrible. I was worse than you. I couldn't talk to people, and it was really bad. And through therapy and doing like Tony Robbins and a bunch of other things, I realized, my biggest breakthrough was one day I was like, I'm sick and tired of this. So I started like going to people that I thought a certain way about me. And I would say like, hey, so I have this crazy idea in my head that you don't like me. Can you is that true? Like, what's going on? And from doing that, like getting their perspective, like 100% of the time I realized that like I was wrong. It's not that other people didn't like me, it's that I didn't like myself. I mean, again, I was running off of like an old pattern or old patterns. And after talking to enough people, I'm like, I'm done. Okay, I'm done. Nobody ever said, I don't like you, because the old program was they don't like me. It's not that they didn't like me, I didn't like me. So that alone in and of itself, minus the therapy and everything else, helped me so freaking much. At this point in my life, Victoria, I have no filter. I just say what's on my mind. But that's what helped. So if any way can help you, it's the way you think other people see you. It's not the truth. It's how you see yourself. And that's something that you should work on, because when I see you, I look at you like you're beautiful. You seem awesome. Speak up for yourself. That's it. Just speak up. I just think at this point, social anxiety is fake, and it's just be yourself. That's it.
Damn, can you repeat that, Sasha?
Thank you.
Sasha, can you repeat that? What you said? Was that it's a lie? Can you repeat that?
It's a lie.
It's a lie!
It's a lie.
It's a lie!
It's a lie. I'm saying it.
The devil is a lie! It's a lie!
It's a lie. Devil is a liar.
It's a lie! This lie is brought to you by emotional damage, which it's a lie. The emotion you're not damaged.
I love the no filter thing. Like, you should say what you're thinking.
Well, I would not go with that entirely, because everything has to be based on timing, the right place, or whatever. Because if you say everything that you want to say, it might not be the right time, it might not be the right place, and whatever. So we have to be, it's not that you want to be real. What Sasha is simply saying is you need to be real with people. You need to be genuine, real.
I like that.
And that's what people want. When you're fearful and afraid, like Sasha is saying, your concern is your perception. Your concern is you want people to see you in a good light. And that's not what life is all about. You know what I mean? Life is about being real and being genuine. It's because that's what we all want. We all are looking for one thing in life, and that is love. And I can go deeper into that. We're all looking for the one thing. We're all looking for love. And the reason we're looking for love is because love is what created us. So that's why you look for love. You're looking for love in another person. And if you see a person is struggling with knowing what love is or how to love, then you need to give them time to heal before you really engage with that individual, because what they will end up doing is hurting you. You know what I mean? So, yeah. But in like with you, Victoria, in dealing with people, like Sasha is telling you, it's not about the person, your thing in your mind you want people to see you in a good light, like you, and maybe they don't like you or whatever. That's not what life is all about. You have something to offer to all of us. You are uniquely created to give everybody something, and you're not supposed to be fearful or afraid of anything. But that's how we are grown. We're grown to be fearful and afraid. That's why you don't watch movies that are fearful and they make a lot of money. You know, The Exorcist, and you go to watch it and you put fear in your psyche. You know, you allow that energy to get into your life. So that's why you are thinking the way you're thinking, is because you open yourself up to some negative energy, and that's inside your life. It's inside your thoughts. So your perception is, how is this person seeing me? And then you see yourself. The thing what Sasha is saying is, you see, actually, it's not the person, but it's the energy that is in you that makes you feel bad, or you're not, as intelligent or whatever. And so some negative energy is controlling your thoughts.
Yes, and we'll go to Bilinda in a second, but I just want to touch on what Coach said on basically everything that you hear or you allow, movies, radio, YouTube, all of that stuff is influencing you at every level.
Yes.
So if you're perceiving like everything you eat, like if you eat McDonald's every day, or like, that's influencing you. If you listen to like horror movies, or you watch horror movies like regularly, that's influencing you. It's giving you fear.
Yes.
And everything. If you have a negative, toxic partner, that's influencing you. Like, it's making you to be somebody else. So, all right, go ahead, Bilinda.
Well, you left it wide open. So the biggest influence is the words that we say to ourselves. And what we say to ourselves, we are. And so if you listen to this recording back, listen to it like you're a private investigator. Like you're figuring out the success to get you to past. Instead of having anxiety or being shy, what would you like to be instead? What are the words you would use?
I do try to do like positive self-talk. But
what are the two words? So if instead of shy and anxious, what are the two words that you're like, okay, I'm going from here to this space over here. What is over here? Because I don't want to use my own word.
Strong and powerful.
Strong and powerful. So instead of coming up and saying, I am shy or I am anxious. By the way, I'm going to one-up Sasha. So I'm 52 now, and I was in like 20 years of therapy, 20 different therapists, couldn't leave the house. I can totally relate to Sasha. And when I found out that I had anxiety, I was like, oh my God, I'm not a bitch. I have anxiety, hooray. Then I wore it like a badge of honor. And I didn't stop that until I was 45. And how I stopped it is I never ever said I am anxious ever again, because I realized when I say I am, whatever follows, then I am. So I just changed anxious to excited. And anxious is like saying whatever word a woman doesn't want to be called. That's what using that word in this house is like. So if my husband, Jeff, if he's like, it seems like you're a little, I'm like, what did you call me? So eliminate those words that you are not wanting to be. And then you can simply say something like, I am practicing becoming even more whatever that word is that you want to be. I'm practicing becoming even more powerful. You're sitting here talking to us. That's practicing becoming even more powerful. I'm practice becoming even more, what was the other word you used?
Powerful.
Strong, powerful, and strong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's just I'm practicing being even more powerful, practicing being even more strong. I showed up on the Zoom today. Your brain's gonna check that, be like, okay, yep, that's true, and then that's who you are.
Wow.
You're welcome.
Okay, so Theresa has to go in a little bit. So Theresa, give us your, let's say, give us your final words here, for us, like your final reflection from the conversation so far.
Well, thank you, Josias, for that opportunity to speak to everyone. I just enjoyed the idea of the way you planned it, that you focused and you organized it, and you kind of led us into what we're going to speak about, which was very good, because I had no idea what we were going to speak about today. And I have learned so much from each one of you as you have spoken. And I'm going to use some of the things that Bilinda mentioned and some of the emotions that I didn't even feel. So now I can start feeling them. Of course, I think think, as Preach said, the things that we watch, like murder mysteries and frightful things, it makes me very sad sometimes. So I have to stay away from that, to be quite honest with you. I have to think of positive things, and I try to do enlightenments. But of course, if everybody's talking about one of these horror movies, I got to go see it anyway, just to be part of life.
Why do you need to go and see it?
Is going to be intensified, so I want to get myself down to earth and maybe see something funny right after that, so I can get back into my smiley face.
Yeah, Terry.
I enjoyed every one of you. I hope a chance to see you again.
Terry, before you leave, Coach has a great question for you. Go ahead, Coach.
Okay.
Terry, why do you think, because I have a daughter like that, and from very small, she used to like these like horror movies, and I would always tell her, do not open your life up to fear. And she struggled with fear throughout her life. Even today, she still struggles with fear. But once you develop an appetite for that type of stuff, it takes root in your psyche, because you're feeding yourself with that energy, that negative energy of fear. And once it grows, it develops, it becomes life inside your mind. And then you start to see fear in everything. The way, sometimes she would say something and I could detect fear in the sentence. There's fear behind that, because that is something she opened her life up to. So I would tell you right now, if you're watching it, you have to stop it, because it has an appetite. And I need to go see this movie. No, you don't. You need to stop it. Whatever you feed grows. Whatever you stop dies.
Yes, that's beautiful.
You know what? I was married to a police officer. My son was retired from the police force. So I do look at some of the violence and the cop things, because I just am interested in learning their side of the story sometimes. So sometimes you have to open yourself. Now, as a little girl, yes, fear is terrible. And if you grow up with that fear for the rest of your life, yes, it's a problem. But I don't have any fears, and I have God on my side. So I don't really have that problem that you're talking about. You're talking about a little girl that had a fear from, and I don't know why she didn't get out of it. Maybe I had to be stronger to get out of my divorce. I don't know. And I got my annulment from the church, and I got happy, because good things happen to me, not bad things. So I have to tell you, not everybody's the same. One person's fear might last forever. Another person's fear can go away. Belinda has some structures to teach people how to get over
it. If you constantly go into that stuff and drinking it, it means that something in you loves that stuff. If you're constantly going, you like
constantly, I just do it once in a while. I'm not every night with the same thing. I might just go see a Lilo and Stitch. It has a little violence in it too. I mean, it's a comedy, but it has violence in it. There's a little violence. All Disney movies. I worked for Disney 20 years. And all the Snow White, I mean, there's always fear, and then there's the happiness at the end. But most stories have fear and then the happiness at the end if they win a good Academy Award. So. But it was nice talking to you, Preacher, and I hope I get to talk to you again. So have a wonderful day, everyone.
Yes, thank you, Terry.
So, Joe, what I wanted to say was, just like if we look at a virus, right? You put your hand on, let's say somebody had a flu or COVID or whatever, and you touch a spot or where they had their hand, or you went in an area of proximity to a virus. The virus only needs one droplet to get into your system, and then it begins to multiply. And then when it really gets bad, it begins to shut down organs. Your lungs stop working or something else, right? In the spiritual, it's the same way. And that's why, you do not hang out with people that have negative energy or certain type of mindset. You know what I mean? If you do, you're going to allow that fear, that pride, sexual deviance, or whatever to get inside your life, because mindsets are just like virus. Once you hang around, let me give you an example. Sometimes we be around somebody and the person gives you a bad vibe. Have you ever experienced that, Sasha, Joe, Bilinda? You don't know the person from the man in the moon, but you're standing around this individual and then you're feeling something. And we've all experienced it, because what? The person is giving out a vibe. And once that vibe gets in your system, then you begin to act the same way, have the same thought, go about business the same way as that individual. So it's very important for all of us, including me. We have to make sure that we're not opening up ourselves to these negative viruses, like the fear, the anxiety. And all of us experience these things from time to time. Anxiety, what anxiety does to us, it makes us presume stuff that's not real. We assume stuff that is not real. So that's what anxiety does. Just like Sasha saying, this person doesn't like me. Where are you getting that from? Why are you thinking that thought? But anxiety gives you those false thoughts. That's why the Bible says, be anxious for nothing, but with prayer and supplication make your request known unto God. Be patient. Things are going to work out if you have the right mindset.
Beautiful, beautiful. So, following that, in the Bible and every religious text, I think in the Bible, 365 times you got like different variations of "do not fear." And every single religious book, in the span of history, it has that so many times. Do not fear, do not fear. It has different variations of that. So for anxiety, it's like don't fear, right? So, and then another thing from what the coach said, environment and association. He talked about associations, but also environment. So if you're around associations that are making you feel a certain way or making you think certain things, then you're gonna feel a certain way and think certain things the whole time that you're around those people and the whole time you're around that environment. So if you want to condition yourself to not feel that way and feel differently, you either have to do one of two things. Number one, you either get out of that environment and get out of those associations, or you limit your time. Either way, you have to get out so you can reflect. And then if you're going to go back into that space, then you have to set some boundaries so that doesn't affect you in the way that it is affecting you. Yes. So let's summarize a little bit, and then let's move on to the next part. So we have the foundation, which is surface to deep, and the middle ground. We have raising our standards, like Sasha said, and helping other people raise their standards. Preach talked about patience, and then Bilinda told us practicing how to be upset is not a useful thing, but practicing how to be gracious, it's a little more useful. So if we can develop that practice of practicing a positive emotional habit instead of a negative one, that could be a plus. It could be a win. We went on to confidence with Victoria and Preach. We talked about, okay, how do we become, and then Bilinda as well, how do we become more confident? Well, we have the same thing, like you start practicing that emotional, so that's the common theme here. Then we'll go on to focus, language, physiology, which Preach talked about a lot, about like where you're focused in and your language, how you move your body too. Bilinda talked about that, how we move our body. So, and then let's top it up with environment, associations, and do not fear for anxiety. So that's a little summary there. So if we start building this brain, this cloud that we're building here, as we near, like we're already 60 minutes in, let's start closing in. Let's start summarizing stuff to where we can build the value and then extract it, not only for ourselves but for anybody else that will be listening in. So, all right, let's go to Bilinda on this.
What's the question?
The question is, I just summarized everything we talked about basically. So based on this, what is the value that we can extract from this for ourselves and for others that may be listening?
It all comes down to practice, and practice equals progress, not perfect. So I wanted to be perfect. That's what really fucked me up. Like, if I could just be perfect, everything would be great. And so I had no standards. So every single thing I do is about a practice and it's not perfect, and it's a 2 millimeter shift. So we can practice all of these things. I want to be happier. You can practice being happier. It's about, you can model somebody. You see somebody, oh, they seem like they're always happy. They practice doing that. Like, they don't just wake up and everything is rainbows and butterflies around them. They practice doing that. People that work with me, they come into my groups, they say that to me a lot. Then I'll be really authentic with them, and I'll say, well, my life isn't perfect. Like, I have situations going on around my adult children, and I'll share that with them in a private space. I won't share it here. But I will tell them it's not rainbows and butterflies. I practice being happy. I practice gratitude. Sometimes it's not even happy. It's gratitude and being present and being at peace. Because somebody was, I think it was Coach Preach was talking about, you walk in a room and you feel someone's vibration. That's real. We all have vibrations. We're all on the energetic scale. At the top of the energetic scale, you have joy, you have happy, but you also have presence, gratitude, and peace. Those are all at the top of the scale. So maybe someday you can't get yourself to that place of joy, but you can find something to be grateful for. You can get yourself present, get yourself grounded. And then when you walk into the room, people will be like, wow, I can feel that person's energy. They're calm, they're peaceful. Maybe you are at joy instead of being down at the bottom of the scale, which we've all practiced a lifetime. You talk about that energy triangle. It's all a practice. We know how to practice being angry, practice being sad. You know what it looks like. You know what you say, you know what you do. And so practice being what you want instead of what you don't want.
Okay, practice, rehearsal. Here's the chart that Bilinda's talking about. It's I don't know if you guys can't probably read it, but it starts at shame. And somebody stop me if it hits you, but like, we got shame, guilt, apathy, grief, fear, desire, anger, pride, courage, neutrality, willingness, acceptance, reason, love, joy, peace, enlightenment. Where are you choosing to focus on? And then are you stuck in one of these and then thinking like you want to be? Because I've been studying this chart for like a couple of years. And so I would always say, okay, well, let me be in peace and joy and love and reason. But what if I'm stuck in apathy?
We can't see it, but if you let me share my screen, I'll pull it up because I have it available.
Yeah, I already accepted.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I will bring it up for you.
I'm a multitasker. Yeah. So I was at like, I wanted to have, the top. This is a different chart, but it's basically it's just synonyms. So if we want joy, appreciation, or love, but we're stuck in apathy, then that's not gonna work. Well, Belinda, it's distracting because this is a different chart than I'm used to.
Sorry, I just want people they can even just screenshot this and you can go back to what they're talking about.
Yeah, but go ahead, since you brought this one up, like, go ahead and go through this one. Because that I'll be curious to hear about it.
Okay, yeah, there's so many, and there's actually ones that go deeper with frequencies, and I'll share it in the group. But this one, it's the same thing. Like, at the very top of the scale, like I said, is gratitude, is peace, is presence. And on this particular chart, it says joy, appreciation, empowerment, freedom, love. And at the very bottom is fear, grief, despair, powerlessness. And so at the very bottom of the energetic scale, they actually have frequencies, like how your body shows up. And when you're at the bottom, you're more matter. So if they can actually measure this now. So if you were in that place of fear, grief, despair, powerlessness, most people would be like sitting in a chair, maybe rocking back and forth, laying in their bed, sleeping all the time, doing drugs, alcohol, eating too much, whatever your thing to accommodate yourself. And so you're in that place where you're kind of feel paralyzed. And then you can move yourself up the energetic scale by asking yourself great questions around whatever it is that you were feeling hopeless and helpless about in the first place. And what's interesting is, I would go from that helpless, hopeless, I wouldn't live there. I had a lot of stuff that I could live there around, but I would move up to anger because I could get shit done in the angry category. So, because that was higher vibration, and that's why you can feel when someone's angry. And then you can get yourself up to places where you feel hopeful. But if you look at the scale, and I don't know if hope is hopeful. If you look at hope is not at the top of the scale. Hope is great, but what's at the top of the scale is joy, appreciation, empowerment, love. You have passion above that, enthusiasm, eagerness, positive expectations, belief, and optimism. So that's all above hope. So asking great questions will bring us up the emotional scale. And I wasn't sure why you were sharing it, so if you want to talk now.
No, that's great. That's great. What does the effort look like, Bilinda? What does the effort look like? Because I imagine, like, it's not as easy as, sometimes, like, or it could be, but maybe not. For some people, it could be easier than others. Let's say you decide, okay, I want to feel love, I want to feel passion. But they said, okay, I want to feel love, I want to feel passion, but then they don't feel it,
So you want to do a quick exercise?
Sure, let's go.
Okay. So quick exercise, everybody put your hands on your heart if you like, or you can put your hands on your lap upright, whatever way you want. You can have your eyes open or closed. This is a really simple breathing technique, and this is to get to your heart and your brain into coherence. So breathing in nice and slow in through your nose and bringing that breath right down into your heart and holding it there just for a few seconds. And when you breathe out, you're going to breathe out through your mouth, and you allow the breath to come out with your jaw unclenched, letting yourself feel even more relaxed, breathing all the way out, breathing out further than you were breathing in, and doing that one more time, breathing nice, low, deeper in through your nose. And imagine that breath is going into your heart and holding it there, and then breathing out through your mouth, relaxing your jaw. And next breath in, just breathe your normal breath pattern, a little bit deeper, a little bit more intention, but breathing that into your heart and breathing out anything that's not serving you. And while you're sitting here or standing or wherever you are in the world with your hand on your heart or your hands upright on your lap, feeling your body, feeling your feet on the ground. And what's one thing that you can appreciate in this moment? Anything that you can appreciate. And if you think to yourself, I don't have anything to appreciate in this moment, remember that you can take a breath and that your heart is beating. And breathe that into your heart and then let everything go out of the mouth. And then you can open your eyes. And the act of doing that is bringing your heart and your brain into coherence. And in that place, you're going to be in a place that you're more productive, you'll have better ideas instead of being in that helpless, hopeless place. And just the act of what we just did brought you up the energetic scale. If you were somewhere where you were feeling helpless, hopeless, the fact that you chose to close your eyes, you chose yourself, you chose to either put your hands on your heart or on your legs, just that act, that simple act, you were saying, I love myself enough to do this, and I'm taking action. So maybe you're up in the place of belief, and there's so much that happened when you're in that place.
Yes, and then the way I was thinking about this yesterday in a similar way, and we had a tantric expert on Monday, and then she was talking the same thing of coherence, like she does 3 layers. She said it's mind, heart, and then sex, which sex it's how she says how she relates to action. So it's what you do, what you feel, and what you think. And then she's got this great framework for it. And then she brings in this funny but however very useful thing, which she says it's she said, and it makes me laugh every single time. She says, like, when you flex the perineum muscle, which is the muscle in between like your sex organs, it actually helps you to bring the energy from stuck down here to be able to fluctuate all throughout your body. And I found that so interesting. But because she's got this joke which she does. She's like she says like in Spanish, she's like, first thing you need to do is breathe and loosen your butthole. and I think there's a lot of truth to this, because it's like, why do they call you an asshole? It's probably connected. I don't know. I gotta do some more research on it, but wow. So, but back to this, where you said the coherence, the mental coherence. What was I gonna say on that? You have the body and the mind and the
You can actually measure it. Normally people's, it's like this. It's jagged edges. It doesn't match. But just that short period of time, if you were able to hook yourself up to a monitor, it goes into beautiful waves. And if you have pets, your pets, if they measure them, they have the same reaction going on. Whatever your mind and your body has going on, they have done this testing with animals, and your animal's doing that. So if you take that time for yourself, You said you have chickens. Your chickens they're really smart. If you get your body and your mind into get your heart and your mind into coherence, the animals, the people around you, you'll see it's a flow and it matches. And in that place, you're going to be happier, healthier, and it's all something that they can measure. And yes, I know about the other thing, the butthole. I like
So gradually, if we were to go down to the deepest level here again, which is like the seat of consciousness, I have a picture, a visual that I thought about yesterday, which is like, do you guys ever see the movie Men in Black, where there was that alien that he hid inside the head of that human, where like he was like seated down and had controls and stuff, and they could see everything, and that's the visual I got. What if you were that little alien inside of your human body, and then you were like in there? That's the visual I get from that. The seat of the soul, the seat of consciousness. You know, like there's phrases in religious books and texts that say that you are not your thoughts, you are not your feelings, you are not your body, you're not, you know. So if you're not that, which most people, that's where they live in their feelings, or they live in their image, which is like the middle ground or the superficial level. What is that state of consciousness? What is that seat? What do you think, Preach?
You know, the spirit man is the real person, and of course, all of us, you know, we learned from childhood how to project an image which we think that people can like. You know what I mean? Instead of being ourselves, or we are uncomfortable with who we are, so we try to project something because we want people to like us, you know, and we develop that all through our lives, and that's why we have so many phony people, and then people get married to phony people. People lose their jobs over phony people. It really takes a whole deep level of sensitivity really to get to know who people really are, because the vast majority of us hide from God, we hide from other people, and we live, just like you say, in that superficial realm because we are constantly trying to get people to like us or worship us. If you remember in the Bible, the scribes and the Pharisees, everything that they did was for people to like them, worship them. Whether they gave alms, they were in church preaching or whatever, everything was being done for people to like them. However, when we do get to that real level, that true level, that genuine level, it's not about people liking us. We're there, we are here to serve people, whether they like us or not. We love people. We love Bilinda, we love Sasha, we love Victoria, we love Joe. It's not about you liking me. It's about loving other people. That's what we are here on the planet for, to serve. However, when your mind is not right, and most people's mind is not right, it's always about somebody liking you. You know what I mean? So even when you get, and that's what the problem comes when you get into a relationship with somebody, and most of us struggle in our relationships with other people because it's about us, and it's not about us. You know, if you're in a relationship with somebody, you're married to them, it's about the person. That's what you got in the relationship for, to serve that person. And many of us, we grew up in this kind of like, what I always say, we all grew up in a feminist environment where that's why we all struggling with our feelings. We are in a feminist environment where it's your feelings that are important, and you live in that superficial realm, and you're easily manipulable because you're into your feelings. But we have to get to that place where it's not about our feelings. It's about who we are inside, being real, being genuine, being truthful. Because if I'm in a relationship with somebody, Joe, I want to know the person is real. You know what I mean? Whether you like me, don't like me, or whatever. It's about being real and being genuine, and that's what we want from people. That's what people want from us. But it's for most of us, because we have been groomed from childhood, that appearance, that what people see. In the Bahamas, where I'm from, Joe, there's a statement that we make in the Bahamas, right? And just about everybody says it, because once you are in an environment, whatever city you're from, whatever country you're from, there's a vibe. And our vibe is, what do the people think? So you make all of your decisions, whether you're buying a house, whether you're in a relationship with somebody, it's always about what do other people and you live in that. It's a thought prison, and it's so hard to break out. And it's hard for you to be real. It's hard for you to be genuine because you're always thinking. Your major thought is, what is this person thinking? And I think that's what Sasha was saying. Is Sasha still there?
Yeah, she's over there. She's doing her. She's doing the her. So.
Okay. So what Sasha was saying is exactly what Sasha was in a mind bondage. Your mind is in bondage to how you appear to this person. So I'm from the Bahamas. That is how our whole country was. You made your decision. If you buy a house, you want to make sure that it's a house that everybody is gonna like, that people will think good of you. So it's a bondage, and it's very, very, very hard to break. And it isn't until you are broken as an individual, you have some level of humility, that whether people like you, whether you're rich, whether you're poor, whether you're smart, whether you're intelligent or unintelligent, whatever, it's not about that. It's about being real and having that joy and peace, right, Joe? In your own heart. You gotta be at peace with yourself. You gotta be at peace with yourself before you can, just like what Bilinda was saying, you gotta be at peace with yourself before you can get that vibe out into other people's lives. You gotta get yourself right first. And that be the problem is, and that's why we struggle in our relationship. It's not about the other person, but people like to do this all the time. It's always about somebody else. It's always somebody else and never me. And some people live their whole life. It was what their mother did. It was what the other, in America, the woke thing is the white people, what they did, what Christopher Columbus did. And it's always somebody else. And the problem has always been, Bilinda, you know what the problem always was? You know what people really are the problem. It wasn't like Sasha said, it wasn't the people, oh, what these people think about me. Oh my God.
Yeah,
oh,
it's all.
Like, this is not right.
It's
always what the other people think, and then you realize, something is me.
It's all a fugazi. It's fugazi.
It's all my negativity.
It's a fugazi.
Say, don't hang out with those boys through the corner there. They're bad people, blah, blah, blah. But, hanging out with those tough guys was everything.
Yeah.
And then you realize at 30 years old or 25 years old, wow, what my mom was telling me, these people don't have no ambition. Who is in jail is dead.
Yeah.
Who is in jail is dead. So what she was saying was the truth. But in your mind, your perception, you have to be tough. You have to be this. You have to be that. You want people to perceive you as being strong, like Bilinda said, and powerful, and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, so let's.
It's all a lie.
So from here,
It's all a lie.
it's a fugazi. It's a fugazi. Whee! All right, so this is the last part here, and then.
Your sound went out, Josias.
Oh shit! Let me see.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, show your back and better.
That's right. Speed round. Okay, so in 30 seconds or less, let's jump on what Preach said. In 30 seconds or less, let's talk and let's say why or how do we get out of that bondage and break free into the world we want to live in, whether it's love, peace, happiness, enlightenment. How do you go from here to there in 30 seconds or less? Go, Bilinda.
All right, 30 seconds less. All right, so I've had physical, mental, sexual abuse. I have every reason to be pissed off about my past. The moment I stop doing this, and when you do this, you're pointing your finger at everybody else. These fingers right here, that's what you need to focus on. What do I need to do? As soon as you did that, I was like, that's it, Preach. And that's it. Focus on yourself. What do you need to do? How can you be better?
Yes.
Yes. But Sasha, are you there?
I'm here.
Sasha.
Okay.
Sasha, where are you? Where are you, Sasha?
So, hey, she's an island girl.
I piggybacked on what you were saying. But even I don't know if she heard that 30 seconds or whatever, Joe. You need to repeat.
Yeah, she did. She good. So, Sasha, 30 seconds or less, Sasha. How do we break out of this bondage and then go live in the world we actually want to live in? Whether it's joy, peace, love, happiness, enlightenment, how do you get there? How do you get out? How do you get there?
As Bilinda was saying, it's a daily practice. I prime every morning. meaning I reframe things in a different way, but now I'm going to add what Bilinda says with things that trigger me. So basically, just get the fuck out of your own way and get the fuck out of those old thought patterns or whatever, and just keep interrupting and reframing them every day. It's a daily practice. Just do it. It ain't that hard, but it is a practice. Yeah, and perfection doesn't exist. So perfectly practice getting out of your own way each day is how you get there.
Bet. Okay, do you have any words from anywhere from your peeps at the salon?
You have anything to say, my love? I just put her on the spot. She's like, no.
she dropping her AirPods.
Like, what do you think? Okay, let me ask you a question. What do you think about perfectionism? What do you think about it? Honestly, I'm going to trigger my word. No, just so perfectionism is a pain in the ass. Why? Because it slows you down. For sure. Bilinda was saying she used to be a perfectionist and now she's learning. What were you saying, Bilinda?
Practice equals progress, not perfect.
Practice equals progress, not perfect.
Unperfection.
Yeah, perfection is just an unattainable. Just get out of your own way.
She's like, I didn't sign up for this. She's like,
Why?
she's like, I'm just trying to chill here at the salon. Like, what are you doing to me right now?
That's what she needs. I love it. Okay, but thank you.
Beautiful. Okay, so last thing is this. In one word or one sentence, let's summarize the Zoom. One word or one sentence. Preach. I know you can go off, but this is just the last part. So, one word or one sentence. Let's just summarize the whole conversation in one word. How would you summarize?
One sentence. Okay. All right. Like Bilinda said, when you point, remember all those fingers that are pointing back to you. And the key, the one sentence I want to say is always remember the energy that you put out in life is what you're going to get back. So it's never about other people. Never. We always reap what we sow. Every action has a reaction. Every cause has an effect. Every choice has a consequence. We do reap what we sow. So the important thing is not what other people think. It's what we do is going to determine.
Bilinda.
We choose how we feel, so choose wisely.
Sasha?
Perfectly practice how to get out of your own way each and every day, because that is the key to your mental freedom.
Bet. Okay, mental freedom on 3. 1, 2, 3. Mental freedom.
Mental freedom.
Let's try again. On 3. 1, 2, 3. Mental freedom. One more time. On 3. Mental freedom. 1, 2, 3. Mental freedom. All right, let's go. Well, thank you everybody for joining today. And preach. What did you think? It's over. No more conceptualizing. What do you think? It's first time out here with us. What do you think about the conversation?
Conversation was good. You know, of course, with me, if I was in charge, you know, I would always make Christ the head, because he is the head. He's the one that we have to depend on. He's the one that governs and guides us each and every day. He's Lord. He's King. And so with me, it's always putting Christ first. You know, if you want anything in life, Jesus said, don't worry about those things. Put me first, and I'm going to take care of the rest of it.
Solo tengo que creer, no me busco en otro ser, me descubro al renacer, no compito ni comparo, solo vengo a florecer. No me pruebo, me presento sin permiso, sin lamento, no me visto de intento, yo camino con fundamento, cada paso es testamento, cada sí es mi cimiento, yo soy quien vine a ser. En cuerpo, alma y pensamiento.